I'm Dr. Maurie Markman from City of Hope, and I want to discuss a very interesting abstract that was recently presented at the 2023 ESMO meetings, recently completed. Now, there are a lot of provocative papers and a lot of different diseases that one could have highlighted in a presentation commentary like this, but I picked one in particular in the gynecologic cancer space, my own clinical and research interests, because it really potentially changes a paradigm in a way that would not have been anticipated based on, in my opinion, what was known prior to this report. And the abstract I'm referring to was late breaking abstract 41, which was first report of the DUO-E trial, a very interesting study. And again, this is a very brief commentary, and I just want to highlight sort of what was stated and to emphasize what we need to learn. The study was a trial of first-line therapy of advanced or metastatic or recurrent endometrial cancer. And the study looked at three arms: control arm of carboplatin, paclitaxel chemotherapy, second arm of carboplatin, paclitaxel, and durvalumab. And this was they had proper, controls, etc. Again, I won't go into the details. And with treatment and with the chemotherapy, the immunotherapy with the chemotherapy, and then maintenance. And the third arm was chemotherapy plus durvalumab plus olaparib, PARP inhibitor, maintenance, and of course continuation of durvalumab, the maintenance as well. So three arms: chemotherapy alone, chemotherapy plus immunotherapy, chemotherapy plus immunotherapy, plus olaparib. Interesting study. What was presented was highlights, of course, in an abstract. Arm 2, with the use of immunotherapy, showed a 29% reduction in the risk of recurrence, which is statistically significant in favor of the use of immunotherapy. Now, this would not have been a surprise because we already have phase 3 randomized trial data, published data, demonstrating the benefits of immunotherapy with chemotherapy as first-line treatment in the population we're describing. This was a different immunotherapeutic agent. What was interesting, you can say surprising, was that the third arm, that included the olaparib, actually showed a 45% reduction in the risk of recurrence. Again, arm 2 with the immunotherapy alone was a 29% decrease. Now, you really can't compare arm 2 to arm 3. The study was designed to compare arm 2 to arm 1 and arm 3 to arm 1. So obviously everyone is going to say, well, wasn't arm 3 better? Really can't say that. Certainly can't say that on the basis of the data that was presented. But it was interesting. But perhaps the most interesting part of this was not that the use of the PARP inhibitor actually improved outcome, but it was where it improved outcome. Because if one looked at two very critical groups now, it's been recognized in endometrial cancer, those individuals who have mismatch repair deficiency defects versus individuals who have mismatch repair deficiency, so-called proficient, no defects, as demonstrated by a variety of techniques. The benefit of the addition of olaparib over the use of immunotherapy only was in the population with proficient, I repeat, proficient mismatch repair process. And in fact, the deficient population, one could not see, again, initial analysis, relatively small groups of patients, couldn't see a benefit of adding the olaparib. Now, this could have been because we already know the immunotherapy works particularly well in the deficient population. So with that benefit, you may not be able to see an added benefit of the PARP inhibitor. But in the proficient population, where the immunotherapy is not as overwhelmingly beneficial, it is beneficial, but not as overwhelming beneficial, it could be that that added bump associated with the PARP inhibitor is able to be seen. Regardless, I am now speculating on the reasons why, but the data are very provocative. Now, obviously, there'll be peer-reviewed publication, there'll be discussion of this paper, but it's a very intriguing observation that the use of a PARP inhibitor in maintenance added to chemotherapy and immunotherapy improves progression-free survival, and we'll have to wait and see overall survival. Very interesting abstract, much more to come, but a very, very exciting time for the newer strategies in endometrial cancer that would have, quite frankly, been unheard of a decade and certainly a decade and a half ago. I encourage you to follow up, for follow-up on this particular abstract, as well as many other areas that were presented at the recently completed ESMO, and of course, ASCO next year. And I thank you for your attention.